It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of August 6, 2004. Only 3 films to look at today, but we have a couple of notable films on this particular show. One is a film that I admire a lot. Another is a film that I would have liked if the ending wasn't terrible, and the last one is a film that I guess was trying to be the next Blair Witch Project, but we'll take a look as we go along here. And let's start off with easily the best movie of the entire week, and that is, of course, Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx starring in Michael Mann's neo-noir action thriller, Collateral.
I got 5 stops to make. Why don't you hang with me? I don't know. Yeah, you do. Just a guess. I thought you were a cool guy. I'm a cool guy. Oh, no! Threw a man out of the window. I didn't throw him. He fell. He's coming to kill you. I'm not playing. Slow down. Collateral. Still reading? Rated R. Starts Friday, August 6th.
What can I say about this movie, man? This is just such a great, great film. You have Jamie Foxx, who plays a Los Angeles cab driver who has this customer named Vincent, played by Tom Cruise. He's offering a high fare for driving to 5 different locations, and Max agrees, but he soon finds himself taken hostage by Vincent, who turns out to be a hitman on a contract killing spree. And, you know, one of the biggest selling points right off the bat is seeing Tom Cruise in a radically different role than we're used to seeing him. And in most movies, we see him playing the hero, but here he's playing a real bad guy in this, and he just plays it so well to the T. It's amazing he didn't get any awards consideration, because he was absolutely incredible in this movie. Jamie Foxx, I mean, this was the first movie from him where he kind of stepped out of the comedy territory and headed into more dramatic territory that he had very rarely had gone into. I think the last one he did was Any Given Sunday, but he might have been an Ali too. I can't remember for certain. I think he was an Ali as well, but this was a big year for him because it radically changed his career around, because after this, of course, he would do Ray, and he coincidentally got nominated for 2 Oscars for acting this year, including Best Actor for Ray, which he won, and Best Supporting Actor for this movie. And it's not hard to see why, man. He is fantastic in the movie. It's interesting because this movie had so many different people that could have made this movie so interesting in many different ways, shape, or form. Frank Darabont was attached at one point. They had Mimi Leader, who did Deep Impact. Janusz Kaczynski, who did the cinematography for a lot of Steven Spielberg movies, including Schindler's List. Fernando Morales, who did City of God. And then they had people like Russell Crowe and Adam Sandler at one point attached to star in it. And keep in mind, this is back when Adam Sandler was still a comedy draw and very rarely made dramas, and would have a drama in this year. So this would have been really, really different if he had taken this, and that film ended up happening. But the film we get is a fantastic film. It's also the first film for Michael Mann who used this high definition camera called a Viper film stream, which he would use later on in his next movie, Miami Vice. And some might say it doesn't look that great, but I think it looks pretty good for what it's trying to do. I mean, it feels like a real scenario here, like you're there when it actually happens. It doesn't feel like a normal movie where it feels like it's a regular cinematography in general. Like, it does feel like you're watching somebody filming this off of their phone, like what I'm doing right now. It has that type of a feel to it, but the tension is very good. You got a great cast. It also includes Mark Ruffalo, Peter Berg, Javier Bardem, Bruce McGill, Jada Pinkett Smith, who's fantastic in the movie. There's a great moment towards the end of the movie when the third act begins where, like, Jamie Foxx is trying to warn her that Vincent is coming for her. It's a very tension-filled moment, and Tom Cruise, like I said, is absolutely terrifying in this movie. I mean, it's a great role that shows that he has a lot of range as an actor. I mean, this was a guy that was still at the top of his game, but like I said, he was mostly known for being a hero in a lot of these movies, but it's interesting to see him take on a role where he's playing the bad guy, and it's very well done. It's very tension-filled. It has a lot of great action sequences. The thrills are there. The tension is there. I mean, there's really not much more I can say about this movie that hasn't already been said already. It's a fantastic film. Easily one of the year's best movies. Easily one of Michael Mann's best movies. And he really needed it after he had a couple of movies that weren't really as successful. His Ali was a good movie, but it definitely had a lot of notable flaws to it. But Insider wasn't that great. But Heat, I think, was still his masterpiece. And this is definitely a close second for his best film overall. It's a terrific film. I can't recommend it enough. If you have not seen Collateral, get off your ass and go see Collateral, because it's a film that definitely deserves your full attentions, and it's definitely worth it. So, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next movie, and that's Brittany Murphy along with Holly Hunter and Ron Livingston, as well as Juliana Nicholson and Rashida Jones in early film roles in Little Black Book.
Have you ever been uncertain in a relationship?
Stacy,
Derek.
nice to meet you.
Yeah, ditto.
I really, really like him, Mom.
Don't commit yourself unless you are absolutely certain.
And though things seem great professionally,
Meet our new associate producer, Stacy Hoyt.
Holt.
Whatever.
there's still a few doubts at home.
Lulu?
The supermodel.
We dated a little. I told you that, didn't I?
Let me think. No.
Have you ever gone too far?
Bob, look, a box.
Be honest. Have you ever been tempted to look?
Look under the hood before you purchase the car.
Stace, listen, I left my palm at home.
Huh?
Stacy was. Now, with the help of her co-workers,
Little Black Book's electronic footprints of where your man has been and with whom.
she'll research his past
Hello, Lulu Fritz. We'd like you to come in tomorrow for an interview.
to be certain about their future.
So tell me about one of the early guys.
Oh, say, Derek.
It was completely about sex.
Sex.
I just used him for, I'd like to make an appointment with Dr. Keys, please. I've never been to a podiatrist before. She was a gynecologist. Comfy? Super. Thanks. Oh my god. There's so many. You could have a sister named Joyce. Louis French kisses and licks.
Oh, no.
You know, I probably should have seen that coming 20 years ago when I saw this movie. This was the film I was talking about where, for the most part, the movie isn't bad. It's when the movie comes to the big climax at the end, the twist ending that they have in here, which is, I'll get to it later on, but it will make you hate this movie. Even if you're liking it like I did, it will make you hate it when it's all said and done. Anyway, you have Brittany Murphy has an associate producer for a daytime talk show who's confounded by her boyfriend's unwillingness to talk about his previous relationships. He's played by Ron Livingston. Egged on by her co-worker, played by Holly Hunter, she decides to sneak a look at his personal digital organizer, scores the name and numbers of his exes, and sets up interviews with them, all in an effort to get closer to her man. Her plan starts to unravel, however, when she becomes friends with one of the women involved. And, like I said, there's a lot of notable talent in this movie. Not just Brittany Murphy and Holly Hunter and Ron Livingston, but Kathy Bates, Stephen Tobolowsky, Juliana Nicholson, Rashida Jones, Josie Moran, Sharon Lawrence, Yvette Nicole Brown, Kevin Sussman, of course, from The Big Bang Theory. Who did he play? Stewart from The Big Bang Theory. He was also on Ugly Betty, too. I didn't know that. And Carly Simon has a cameo, too, which is funny because the trailer for this actually plays her song from Working Girl within the trailer, which I think this was trying to do so hard to try to copy that success in general. And like I said, for the most part, the movie isn't bad in general. It just really wasn't that funny in general. It was just kind of a film that's just very much one note and just feels like it's wasting a lot of its talent because there is a lot of really good talent in this movie. Like Brittany Murphy. I've talked about her long enough. I mean, I've seen her in movies where she can be really good as an actress. You know, Just Married, Uptown Girls, 8 Mile, the Happy Feet movies where first Happy Feet movie. I mean, she is a really good actress in general, but she did pick some really bad movies. This is probably one of the big ones where it's just like her career really started to kind of tank after this point. Like Holly Hunter, I feel like deserves better than this. I mean, she won an Academy Award for God's sake. So does Kathy Bates, and half these people in this movie. And like I said, the movie could just be a forgettable one-note film. But no. This movie can't do that, no. We have to take this movie to the next level of stupidity and ridiculousness. The film is perfectly fine until the third act of the film, the big climax where everything gets revealed. Like, you know, Kathy Bates is the talk show host, and the producers basically push Brittany Murphy's character onto the stage, discovering that her investigations into Derek's past are the subject matter of the show. And that Holly Hunter basically orchestrated the whole thing and invited everybody on there. And it's nothing but watching Brittany Murphy be embarrassed in front of a national television audience. And they eventually break up. And then it's just like, you know, hey, that's just this. And the way the movie does it's just like, that's just life. Like, you have to be. It's just like, I was furious when I saw this movie the first time. I just could not believe that they went to this low of a route to create an ending that is so mean-spirited and so unpleasant and so unfunny that it just completely ruined anything that I found of worthiness before we got to that point. I mean, it's a bad ending. It's like what I said with Hope Floats. Like, there was a time when movies would do this, where they'd have these talk shows that are just be the focal point of the storyline here, and what's the appeal? Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't find the appeal of this. And in Hope Floats, it's supposed to drive the story along here, but this, it's just a stupid way to end the film by doing the same stupid romantic comedy tropes. It's not funny, it's not clever, it's not satirical. It just feels like a movie where everybody has betrayed this main character for the sake of creating entertainment, and it's just like it's baffling. It's absolutely baffling how bad this ending is. It really ruined any kind of enjoyment, anything I had that was seen as somewhat likable about this movie. Took it completely out the window, and I was just kind of like, fuck this movie, man. Like, this is a movie that I hated so much. I really do hate this movie so much, specifically for how it ended. What that whole thing was building up towards. Like, it's despicable how bad this ending is, and how just tasteless, how pointless it is, how it's a complete betrayal of everything that had been built up for it. All of her friends in this bit is that she had before this, no, all out the window. Like she was a pawn. She was a pawn in something, and it's not funny, it's not clever, it's not hilarious. It's just like, no, she's supposed to sit there and just take it all in because, that's just the way of business. And it's just like, no, it's stupidity. It's a terrible way to end your movie. And these people who wrote and directed this movie have never made anything of noteworthiness whatsoever. This director has done nothing of noteworthiness, and this is probably his biggest movie in general because he's got a major studio behind him. And guess what? Hasn't done anything of noteworthiness since then. Did one other movie that went straight to DVD. These writers have never done anything of importance since then. Melissa Carter and Melissa Bell, like, I'm sorry, I hate this ending. I hate this ending so much. It ruined any kind of sense of anything that I could have found that was at least tolerable about this movie, and just threw it completely out the window. And it was just like, it's just such an inexcusable way to end a movie. I mean, I hate these type of movies. I hate these type of films where you take something that could have worked and was just barely chugging along, and then this happens, and then that train was just immediately falling off the cliff and just crashing into the ravine. It's like in Back to the Future Part 3. The movie was just coasting along on the train, and then as soon as the DeLorean went back in time, and this third act comes up, the train goes up. That's when the train goes off the cliff and just explodes, and just there's nothing of value left to it afterwards. I mean, yeah, congratulations. You just wasted everybody's hour and a half by just doing that. It's just, I mean, it's just absolutely horrible. Like, it's amazing how much of a 360 turn this movie takes in just the last 30 minutes. It's like, I really don't have any other words to say about it. Like, I feel like Madeline Kahn in the movie Clue, when she's like, I hated her so much, and she just kept going like flames on the side of my face. Like, she's so flabbergasted and so mad and just can't get the words out. That's how I feel about this whole movie in general. Like, it started off just barely chugging along, and then falls off the cliff is in the final 30 minutes, and just everything that was of value beforehand is just gone at this point. This is absolutely one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It's amazing this wasn't in my top 30 worst movies list, but I checked, and no, it's pretty much up there. But yeah, it's definitely one of the worst comedies I've ever seen, one of the worst movies I've ever seen, bar none. I absolutely hate this movie so much, bar none. So yeah, that is a Little Black Book. So let's go ahead and get to the third film in the sandwich, where we've got two really good movies and then the piece of shit that's Little Black Book. Here's Open Water.
Other people go on vacations and spend their days just laying around. We have a story we're going to be telling for the rest of our lives.
Daniel, where's the boat?
That's a good question.
And we're stuck in the middle of the ocean. Oh, God. Oh.
It's okay. It's okay. can't be happening. Susan! Susan! Oh God, something's rubbing against my foot. Are you alright? It's gonna be okay.
Dead. I mean, that's pretty much the universal sign that you're dead at this point. Well, technically one person dies in this, but I'm not going to say who. But Open Water. This is a story that this was a movie that, as you can tell, they were trying to market this kind of to be the next Blair Witch Project, which was essentially released by Lionsgate. I mean, back then they were Artist Entertainment, but they were essentially Lionsgate. But unlike that movie, it wasn't doing the whole thing where it's just like, is it real or is it fake? You know, this is pretty much a movie that is seen as kind of fake, but also can be seen as probably one of the first real examples of found footage films, proving there's some valuable life to them. And in this movie in particular, you have a story where you've got an American couple who go scuba diving while on vacation, only to find themselves stranded miles from shore in shark-filled waters when the crew of the boat accidentally leaves them behind. This is actually based off of a true story, loosely based on a true story, where you had this couple, Tom and Eileen Lonergan, who in 1998 went out for a scuba diving group, the Outer Edge Dive Company of the Great Barrier Reef, and were accidentally left behind because the dive boat crew failed to take an accurate head count. And let me see if they actually survived this or not. I don't think they did, but no, they essentially disappeared on that day. They were never heard from again, and that's pretty terrifying, man. Like, you're supposed to, but like that's just. I mean, we can accept this kind of stuff in a comedy like Home Alone. You know, hey, it's funny that the kid is left behind at home because when the kid was supposed to when the oldest daughter is supposed to do a head count, you see somebody in the back and you think that's just Kevin right there. But no, in a comedy that works. But in real life, that's fucking terrifying, man. And like, it's just, I mean, that's the beauty of this movie, man. Like, it's just a terrifying experience. Like, it's like a nightmare you're watching when you watch this movie for the first time, because keep in mind, this is back when no one had cell phones. This is back when nobody had any way to like connect. Well, nobody had cell phones that could actually work in water, is what I'm trying to say. We did have cell phones, but they were certainly not like the ones we have now. But they are much different. But I mean, these were ones where you can't use them in water because they'll get wet and they don't usually work. And yeah, so they're pretty much stuck there, and they have no idea if they're going to survive this whole thing. And yeah, when you're stuck in shark-infested waters with thunderstorms that keep coming up, and it's dark and you have no idea what's literally around you, that is indeed legitimately terrifying. It's like, it's a really good movie that really is something that does keep you on the edge of your seat. Like, you're trying to figure out what's going to happen with these two people, and like I said, one of them dies, but it's just, yeah, it's very tense and terrifying at times. Like, it really does get scary when you're watching this and they're saying there's something around my leg. It's just like, what the hell is it? Like, what the hell is it? Like you'd be like that too if you were in that situation in general. And it's just, it really is an intense, terrifying film that did manage to work as well as it did with this first film. Of course, they had to ruin it because it was a big success, and as soon as Lionsgate saw that, you know what they said? Make sequels! And of course, we got all these different sequels because they're killer shark movies, and shark movies in general will sell even the worst ones. I mean, you go to Walmart, there's like, I'll bet you right now, there's like 15 to 20 different shark movies available in the DVD section, but they will sell because there is an audience that will buy those shark movies. I know some of those people that will buy shark movies. I mean, there is an audience for them, so it makes sense why they made sequels, but needless to say, the sequels were nowhere near as good as this film, because this film was at least trying to do something kind of revolutionary at the time. Blair Witch Project kind of began the first real... Blair Witch Project was one of the first real successors of the found footage genre. Nobody really tried to take a chance with it. Open Water, I think, was like the first real chance to try to do another found footage film that was very similar to Blair Witch. And it succeeded very well. It was a really good film. It was a very tension-filled movie. It wasn't trying to like have this big conspiracy about whether or not it was real or not. You could kind of tell. You could tell it was pretty much a movie, but it's a really good film in general. The actors are really good. Blanchard Ryan and Daniel Travis, I think, are very good playing the two people who are essentially stuck in the middle of this. And the best thing about the real thing that really made me realize that how good this movie was, and I just remembered it from here. They used live sharks for this. This wasn't like Jaws or Deep Blue Sea where they would use mechanical sharks or deep computer generated ones. No. They went out and went to use real live sharks. So yeah, they were really playing with the devil on this one, and they didn't get them, but could have been really, really disastrous if they ended up being the case. But yeah, it's a really damn good movie. It's a really good tension-filled movie. What more can I say, man? Open Water is a really good film. I highly recommend checking it out. And so with that said, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we'll take a look at 3 more movies, including Paul W.S. Anderson's Alien vs. Predator, which you might be surprised at how I feel about this one. But we also have the sequel to The Princess Diaries, The Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement, and Yu-Gi-Oh! The Movie. So we'll take a look at those 3 films all in the next episode. And with that said, if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So, I will see you guys next time for the next review, and until then, thank you very much for watching, and see, I'm screwing up my ending again. Until next time, take care. Good night, everyone.